This is Soul Sense Empowerment by Estar. Heal your mind and body, elevate your spirit, empower you.
Hey guys, today's topic is one of those hit or miss. But let me ask you a quick question first. If someone followed you all day long, saying horrible things to you, or about you, or telling you off for any mistakes, would you call that person a friend or a bully? Yep, I'm talking about negative self-talk. We don't talk enough about this, but the most consistent relationship you have with yourself and in your life is the one you have with your own mind and with yourself. And the truth is, majority of us are in a toxic relationship with ourselves. So, what is self-talk? Self-talk isn't just about affirmations or positive thinking. It's also about that non-stop voice in your head that says unpleasant things, that tells you off for making mistakes, and sometimes even calls you names. Most people even say these names out loud, like, I'm such an idiot, I shouldn't have done this or the other. It's all that voice in your head. But here is another bigger question for you. Is everyone's inner voice always negative? The answer is no. And here's what developmental psychologists tell us. The majority of people, which is at least 70 to 80%, were raised in some form of survival mode as opposed to love or unconditional love. This means their nervous system wasn't wired for ease or curiosity, it was wired for protection. And when you grow up looking for danger or rejection or disapproval, your inner voice becomes less of a friend and more of a bodyguard, something to keep you safe, something to protect you. Not because you're broken, but because survival mode trained you that way. This is what you had to do to survive. Some people grew up with more emotional safety and support, with more space to develop a kinder world and have more positive experiences, less or no traumatic experiences. That's the 30%. But the majority who grew up in survival mode continue to perpetuate life in survival mode. And that voice they hear in their own voice is even theirs. It's an echo from either a parent, a Sunday school teacher, your maths teacher, a breakup, or a childhood trauma. Now, most people might be thinking, hey, isn't this just the inner critic? Not exactly. The inner critic is one part of that conversation, often the loudest, the harshest in the room, but your inner dialogue includes more than just the inner critic. It includes all other sub-personalities hiding in there, the anxious planner, the people pleaser, the rebel, the perfectionist, and usually the wounded child somewhere. And there are many of them. Or even the version of yourself that dreams big but backs down whenever a challenge or a setback occurs. The inner critic might hog the limelight, might grab the mic, might be in front of the queue, might be the one talking the loudest, but the entire conversation in your head is shaped by your emotional history, not just your fear of failure or fear of success, but your fear of not being enough, not being good enough. So that voice, the planner, the critic, the anxious inner narrator is not just random. It's a reflection of what you had to survive. And at this point, I'm sure you might be thinking, okay, now what? What does it matter? This is why. The voice in your head creates your inner world, and your inner world becomes the filter through which you see everything. And the filter through which you see everything creates your experiences and therefore your outer life. Your life comes from your experiences. For some people, you could be winning or leading a very successful life and career and still feel like you're failing. Or you could be deeply loved by someone or some people and still feel unworthy. Or you could be safe, totally safe, but still feel like you're under attack all the time. Why is this? Because your nervous system and your subconscious mind believe the voice in your head more than they believe anything outside of you. So this topic, I'm doing a lot of research on it because it's a real battleground. And the good news is nobody is stuck in this voice forever. We can change it. We can reparent it. We can rethink it. We can interrupt old patterns. We can teach our mind a new tone. We start by asking ourselves questions. Like anytime you're in a loop of anxiety or negative self-talk or doubt, just ask, who is really talking right now? Is it me? Is it the calm, present self? Or is it one of those scared, younger versions of myself? Who is telling me off right now? Is it something from my old school days? Or is it a voice I absorbed from someone else's pain? And then ask yourself, what would a compassionate voice say instead? This isn't fake positivity. It's conscious authorship of your life. It's taking back the pen and writing it all over again, writing your own narrative. So if your mind has been noisy lately, if you've been hard on yourself without even realizing it, just pause, not to judge, but to listen with awareness. Who is talking? Where is that voice coming from? Because every transformation and even every personal empowerment begins with the tone of your inner voice. It begins with awareness. It begins with asking questions, curiosity. Your healing won't come from shouting louder. It starts with a small whisper. Hey, I see you. You're doing better than you think. Just small steps. But this is just the beginning. As I said, I'm doing a lot of research on this thing. And over the next few weeks, I'll be looking at this topic based on the writings of giants in the field like John Pollard and Neville Goddard's lectures. He talks a lot about inner conversations and inner dialogue. We'll see why there are so many inner children wounded and needing healing living inside of us. How trauma can fragment our inner world and how to actually reparent ourselves and rewrite that inner story. We want better stories. We want better conversations. So if you don't want to miss the next episode, subscribe, put your notification bell, and in the meantime, comment below. What's the one thing you're ready to say to yourself that is different than you used to if you fall into the 70% category? So in gratitude, and until next time, bye for now.